The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
No, see if Shedeur Sanders' daddy was in jail and a single mama, he'd have got drafted in the first round. You know what I'm saying? That's how they love that.
Yo,
they love a save a nigga mentality.
So this is the thing is that I need to hear like everyone's take on this. We need to have our own first take.
All right.
Oh
yeah, we do that. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. That's what we could.
Because like I don't know what happened. Like why did that happen?
I don't know.
Why did that happen?
That's theories.
No, because that dude is clearly better than who's the dude the Saints drafted.
He's better than the dude that got drafted before him on the team he's on.
So bad that the Saints drafted that nigga, man.
Bro,
first of all,
I don't even know.
Exactly.
First of all, it was hot. No, first of all, when they showed him before they even fucking drafted him, they showed a picture with him. He had his rich mama was up in there. He had the girlfriend and the fucking dog. I was like, man, fuck this white boy. And then like 5 minutes later, it was like the sound was like they just drafted this motherfucker with the dog. Bruh, stop.
Yo, it was a lot.
No, but I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to make a statement. Like what was the whole thing? What was it about?
Mickey Loomis.
It don't even matter, bro, because like, first of all, you're a rookie quarterback. You're only making $4.5 million. The nigga made $5.8 in college last year. So he don't matter. Like
money doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Matter.
So it don't matter.
It don't.
First round, third round, fifth round, whatever. Like, go get the job.
I'm just wondering, why? Like, what was? There was obviously a conversation.
They hate Dion, man.
Between
it's the hate.
All the owners.
It's the
I'll
hate.
tell you exactly.
And look,
what it is.
So Archie Manning, not in the Hall of Fame. I don't even think Archie Manning made the Pro Bowl. Well, he was a quarterback, right? He was on like one of the worst teams in the history.
Made it once
he was on one of the worst teams in the history of the NFL. The Saints back then, stop. Yeah. And this nigga orchestrated all kind of shit. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying he could do whatever. Eli got drafted by a team and just was like, I ain't showing up.
Right.
Do something. Like, made them try, you know what I'm saying? Like, all Dion said was, nigga be crazy not to draft my son.
You know what? This is what I think. I think that they are afraid of this kid's confidence.
Excellence.
He is assured of himself, just like with his mother.
Steaming, Willie Beeman.
Just like what his mother and father instilled in him, and he is a example of excellence. And and the people see that. That's not the narrative that they want to exactly draw out for us. And
like I said, if his daddy was in jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They could have showed the little piece about it.
Look, it'd be an Antoine Fisher story.
Right, exactly.
And that's what they like to see from us.
My thing is like, yo,
they don't like to see the beginning.
Don't matter.
Right.
He was drafted. He gonna be playing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It don't even matter. It don't even matter.
But
First,
why?
third, fifth.
That's my thing. Is
why? The why is because the owners is like, we gonna do what the fuck we want to do. We ain't gonna let nobody tell us who the baddest, especially Deion Sanders. We gonna let him sit up here and tell us we's a fool if we don't draft his son. They like, whatever.
Right.
Watch.
Spite.
If
but
he
watch
get
him,
that job, Cleveland gonna go.
First of all, you think he don't know every? You think he don't know every quarterback that went before him? I bet he got him underlined, circled. All right, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
Right.
We're gonna find out.
And not to mention too, I mean, this ain't gonna do nothing but get his kid fuel.
That's what I'm saying.
To show his fucking ass.
Let's go.
But that's why I was like, that really don't make sense.
It don't matter.
Exactly.
If you're trying to put his light out, that ain't definitely
that's
ain't the way
not gonna do it.
That's just going to make him madder.
You know, what if he's like Jordan and you just give him fuel to just roast you every single time?
Dude, Mahomes. When did Mahomes go?
10th.
He was still in the first round.
The Saints moved up. Okay, it's Kansas City. So the Saints drafted up to pick 11 because they thought Mahomes was gonna fall to him, and Kansas City snatched him at 10. That's how we end up with Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
Oh, they snatched him up.
Oh yeah.
Kansas City was like, they saw the Saints play. They saw the Saints play. They was like, oh, no, nope.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all got.
Y'all got.
For sure.
But
Oh,
see,
God,
you
it's
got
bad.
yourself.
That's why Andy
the
Reid.
day.
Yeah.
You did that to
We did it.
yourself.
Saints definitely did it to
To your
themselves.
own self.
You did that shit to yourself.
Look, the Saints, I'm going to tell you right now. The Saints, some organizations, the Giants, the Saints, it just ain't, it's not going to happen. Like, look, we had a few black quarterbacks in our history, I'm going to tell you. So, it's not happening. Like,
That's it.
Jeff Blake, look, we got
that's
Jeff.
the point,
I'm just telling you right now,
That's it.
when we got Jeff Blake, he was the cheapest free agent on the market, right? And the Saints was like, fuck it. But before we had Jeff Blake, we had a slew of the saddest white boy quarterbacks you ever seen in your life. Billy Joe Holbert, Billy Joe Tolliver, Jim Everett, all kind of Bubby Brister, all kind of. I'm just talking about.
Shit, that's right. You guys have Bubby.
No. I'm just telling you, all kind of motherfuckers.
Bubby
they
Brister.
rolled out there before they finally was like, before they were finally like Jeff Blake. Fuck it, he cheap. And look, then he got hurt. And then Aaron Brooks became the quarterback. And we, as Saints fans, convinced ourselves that Aaron Brooks was a good quarterback for like several years, son.
Yeah.
So like
Several years.
then we got Drew Brees by accident because they thought he was washed up because of the shoulder, and that was just lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
But historically, the Saints
was lightning
and the
in the bottle.
ineptitude they have around this is pretty
Yeah.
par for the course, right? So and also like Drew, I bet Drew knows the
the
answer to this.
Steelers.
Now you know who has the best winning percentage as a quarterback in Saints history? Drew. Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, wow.
Teddy motherfucking Bridgewater.
wow.
He was on the team,
That's
and they got rid of him because Drew
right.
Brees was like, I got 2 more years left, which he did not.
No, he did not.
Which he did not.
He did
See what I'm
not.
saying?
He did not.
Teddy Bridgewater would still be in the league. He might still be our quarterback now.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So this is how the Saints operate.
Yeah.
Ain't no
That's
way.
crazy
No
shit.
way they was gonna draft a quarterback.
You
Not
know-
a chance in hell. I'm telling you right now. Patrick Mahomes, maybe. That's the only one. Because he's Jordan. Other than that, it wasn't gonna happen.
Right.
We'll take broke arm Derek Carr all day over any black quarterback. That's just facts. I've seen it. I'm
That's
telling
just
you.
terrible. Just so
Yeah,
bad.
it's insane. I don't
It's
think
really bad.
we've introed our next.
It doesn't
guest
matter. We
here.
brew.
I don't think
You know,
we
Drew
did.
just started filming.
Yeah,
That's how
he
we
just
always.
started filming.
It was
We
good.
have with
We'll
us
sneak that in later. We're gonna make Drew edit.
Whatever.
I'm sorry,
Y'all
Drew.
know who the fuck this is.
That's hilarious.
This is someone who
Teddy
needs
Bridgewater.
absolutely no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, Teddy Bridgewater.
I know Petty Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
God.
Man, how's your Jazz Fest?
You know what?
Let's do a real intro.
Petty LaBelle.
Yeah, Petty LaBelle.
Let's do a real. Come on, give him the clap.
All right,
man.
all right. Well,
It was great. It was.
It was
We're
good.
here.
you got
It was
that right.
awesome.
I mean, we're here.
We got it.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to intro our next guest, the esteemed, one of the most talented musicians, drummers in the world. I say,
Facts.
and it's fact. She is world renowned, and we are very, very glad and fortunate to have her on our show. This is my sister. We have gone through the fire together. We have, it's the best of times and the worst of times.
All of it.
And, we have walked through the depths of hell together and came out. What did he say? He said we crawled through 500 yards of shit, came out clean.
Andy
on the other
Dufresne
side.
crawled
Came out clean on
My
the other
friend.
side.
My friend and your friend and our friend of the podcast and just family. Please welcome Nikki Glaspie to the show.
Hey.
Hey.
All right.
So good to have you here. It's so good to see you. This is the first time I've seen you
I know.
since
Is
Jam
crazy.
Cruise.
I know.
Since we was watching Brother Ruckus. Remember I sent you that clip of him doing giant steps?
Oh,
I couldn't
yeah.
Shout out to Brother Ruckus, that's my man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the last time I saw you was getting off the boat. So
Off the boat.
Welcome back. I'm glad to see you still
Yeah.
standing on 2 feet. Got your land legs back. And here we are for Jazz Fest.
Jazz Fest. Just in time for Jazz
Just in
Fest.
time for Jazz Fest.
Smack down the dab in the middle. Actually,
What's going on with you? Tell us about what's happening with you.
Man, I'm just playing music.
I'm just glad to see you. You
I know.
glowing and shit.
I'm happy to see
You
you,
know
too.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
but
know,
like
it's just-
as far as it relates to Jazz Fest or just in general,
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm playing music, Jazz Fest. I'm
Yep.
doing all kinds of
This is
stuff.
what you do.
I decided to take it easy this year.
Look at God.
Only 15 gigs. Last year I had 22.
Yep, you got 7 more than me.
I was like, you know what? We're gonna take it easy this year. But
ain't nothing wrong with that.
in taking it easy,
You're still working your ass. You still the hardest working.
I'm still working, but I'm making creative music.
Yes.
Very creative music.
You're having fun this year.
I'm having fun playing a lot with Mike D and Brian Haas and Helen Gillet and Skerrick and
all my favorite.
You know what I'm saying?
Check.
Did y'all play the broadside?
Yeah, we played the broadside.
They played the rabbit hole too. I think the day before us. Oh no, you did that with the.
Oh yeah, we
Nth
played
Power.
broadside on Wednesday. Fest Devoid. Day 0. As if there weren't enough days.
Right.
They were like, you know what? We're gonna add another day.
Zero.
Day 0. Yep. And then played at the rabbit hole. But what's really cool is that I'm only playing every venue once. I'm hitting all of them one time. I'm not repeating any venues.
Yep. That's good.
Which I like. I like
good.
variety is the spice of life.
That's awesome.
Get to see all the rooms.
Yeah, we're going to come and see you do Earth, Wind, and Power.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
We've already
We
talked
talk
about
about Earth, Wind, and Power.
We talked about it a lot on the last
we
podcast.
specifically talk about the last Jam Cruise performance.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how amazing that was. And how, man, listen, let me tell you something. Look at me. Take the glasses off. Look right at me.
I'm looking at you.
You were hitting so fucking hard. My God. You were hitting so hard. I had never, listen, we've been around the world together.
Oh, yeah.
I have never seen you hit that hard. And you hit hard.
Yeah.
You are known for hitting hard.
Yep.
Facts.
Had to let them know.
Man,
Had to
you
let
let
'em know.
them get shit. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
We was in the back. I had a hernia when I left because you hit so hard. And I always say, ever since I was, whenever I talk about that particular show, that's the best we're going to see. If you ever, especially for people who are fans of Earth, Wind, and Fire, that were unable to see them in their heyday.
Yeah.
That is the closest you're going to get to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not to take anything away from current Earth, Wind, and Fire, actual Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, no, they're
because
they're
that's
still
what
crushing.
it is, and they still crushing.
But
if you wanted to know what it was like to see them on the Midnight Special, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Don Kirshner or whatever, that is what it was. And
It's my absolute favorite gig every year.
That's
I
awesome.
remember the first time y'all did it at One Eye Jacks.
Yep.
And
That
ever
was in
since then,
2016.
And I
So-
told me, I take off I'm off on Friday because I'm not risking, because I had the gig. One time I had the gig, after that, I had to leave early and I was pissed off. And the gig I did was sad as hell. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that no more.
It's like,
So I'm
they
off
ain't
and going
doing
there,
that.
enjoying myself. That's my favorite show every year. I appreciate you for doing that.
Now,
Absolutely.
what's crazy about the show is that it was supposed to be one time, one and done.
It was too killing. The first one was too killing.
Yeah, it was too
too
killing.
killing.
But what's even funny about that is how it even came about. We were at High Sierra. High Sierra.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was.
know it well.
Yep, it was probably.
And also not well at all.
And not
It
enough.
was probably 5:30 in the morning, and I had my phone on shuffle.
There we go.
I had my phone on shuffle.
All roads lead to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Open Our Eyes came on. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I put it on repeat. I listened to it probably 67 times that morning until I had to drive someone to the airport.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I need to figure out a way to play this song. So the most logical thing was to do an entire show.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that is
Right.
that's the way
Bam,
to play,
open our eyes.
in order to play that one song.
Yep,
It's just funny. I was like, oh no, we're not just gonna play it. We're gonna do an entire show and build it around that.
Build it around.
And then
that song.
it just kind of grew legs of its own and whatever. I don't know how many times we've done it now. Well, this might be almost the 20th or something.
Yeah, it's an incredible show.
But the other thing that's really mind blowing to me was that last year, members of Earth, Wind, and Fire
that was so
came
killing.
to the show,
And it was y'all.
and they got on stage, and I was
So
just
good.
I
Yeah.
can't even believe this. That kind of happened a couple years ago as well when we did a Marley tribute. And then we ended up playing with Stephen Marley.
Yeah.
And it was like, that normally doesn't happen where you're like, I want to play with my heroes or like, and then like you do a thing and then they come to it.
Well, that's
it's
a
like,
testament to how,
how
we always say, thought is the most powerful thing on the planet.
it is.
Whatever the mind can conceive, as cliche as it sounds, can be achieved.
Absolutely.
If you put enough of it and positivity into the universe works for you. We've always, you and I specifically have always thought that way. So.
Yeah,
look,
absolutely.
Man, just to pivot for a second, just because I want to talk about this because I know Nikki can't be here forever. You guys, specifically you two, big inspirations for me, as both of y'all know. We've talked about it. And
Man, fuck you, bro.
Okay, cool. But like, no, I just remember there was a time like we all been blessed to do a lot of things, but I remember I was on tour, playing with Kermit. Nikki was on tour with Dumpstaphunk, and we did a tour together. I think it was my last tour with Kermit, or one of my last.
Yeah.
It was but we were all in a transitional stage, and it was like Nikki was like, I'm about to start this band with Nigel. She was like, you need to get out, start your own shit. Yep. You got records out. Like, people love you. What are you doing? And I was like, but like, comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then like, I mean, we was in Chicago. I don't want to bring up too many details. We was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Was that the
different time.
Yeah, different time.
Let it go, but it's still debauchery, but we're not getting into all that.
I love it.
Anyway,
no, it's okay.
We was at the house and we was talking and blah blah blah. And then we got in, and I was like, like, damn, she's serious. And then it's like, and it was like a couple of months later, y'all did it. Y'all started Nth Power, and then I felt stupid. I was like, well, shit, I gotta quit now. Like, they were,
right.
She like,
I dared you. I'm like, I dare you. I double dog dare you.
I was like, all right, well, damn, like, I'll start my own band. You're right. My bad. So I appreciate you for that, though.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. I mean, like, I always encourage that. Because I think for such a long time, especially now, like we have this thing where we have artists and like artists, y'all ain't making no art.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like real artists should be out there making art, and for whatever reason, and we know what the reason is, but most of the time, we're behind the drum kit, we're behind the keyboard, we're behind the artist.
Right.
But
Allegedly.
really we're the ones that are making
right.
We're the ones making the artist. Right. So I'm like, you know what? I see so many talented musicians that just like don't have the confidence, or they just don't think that they can do that.
Right.
And it's like, nah, you can do that. You can do more than that. You can. Yeah, I remember one of my really great friends. I went to see Justin Timberlake. And I was like, man, that's great. Like that's incredible. He's like, you could do that. He's looked at me and was just like, you could do that.
Yeah.
Like you could totally like sing and dance, like, but that's not what you know.
Right.
But you could fully be that guy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If that's what you wanted to do.
If that's what you wanted to do.
So,
absolutely.
Again,
it's your mind. You know? If you want something to change, you got to change that. But not to mention, also, we are in right now the place where this all started.
Yeah. It is.
We're in the actual building.
Yeah.
Where we recorded Basic Minimum Skills Test, and it all started here.
Yeah, we had the anniversary the other day, actually.
We had 12 years ago.
Wow. 12 years ago.
That record came out.
That's correct.
We recorded that record, and it came out. Man.
It was really quick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that was the first time, honestly, that, like, I had, like, just let something go. Just, like, being a musician, you want to make it perfect. And you're like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that.
Perfect.
And it was like, I was like, oh, okay. I guess we're going to put this out now.
Yeah.
And that was
it was already perfect.
That was the biggest lesson, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's done. Let's go. Yeah. Put it out. Like, don't be scared. Like, it's happening.
You guys, I mean, y'all like y'all have an actual chemistry and connection. It's kind of like it's an unsaid connection. You know, I feel it just being in the room with y'all, but like musically, I've seen it too. It's like a Rufus and Shaka in reverse, you know, situation. No, seriously, you know, what I mean, like, but talk about what I mean. You know, I'm sorry, I'm here to like make y'all uncomfortable. Let's talk about like the chemistry, because like you said, that's your sister. Being that y'all brother and sister, y'all have bickered. It's like public. It's not I'm not trying to.
Yeah, we fought.
I'm not trying to. I'm not saying putting out any secrets right now.
No, I'm just saying. No fucking secrets.
I'm just saying it for the people that don't know. I'm not putting nobody on blast. I'm just saying. So let's talk about that. How y'all got here?
Okay.
How we got to the place we are now?
Okay. Well, I'll just start by saying that I am and have tried to be an open book for the things that I go through, the things that have made. Norm!
He's here.
It's Norm! He always comes in at the right time.
Yeah. Yep. What's up? How you doing, April?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, hey, it's Norm!
Is your off-camera? Off camera. I'm here on the off-camera mic.
Keep it Danny in the dark corner. That's where he prefers. He prefers the dark.
This is where I reside.
I like it. Yeah. Johnny Lurgan.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I've always tried to be as, especially, you know, in my sobriety, I've always tried to be an open book about anything and tell the truth, because that's how you remain accountable. You take accountability for your actions. And when I left the band, we were arguing about something, and a lot of it could have been avoided had I been, and I'm taking responsibility for my part in that. Yeah. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Part
of it.
Is right, exactly.
There's other parts.
I take full responsibility because I was doing so much cocaine and drinking, and you know, the beautiful thing about all of that though was when we were making music, regardless of whatever it was I was doing, any of us were doing, the music was always first.
Your spirit was still connected that way.
Spirit, oh my God, it was sewn in, and it's still there.
Yeah.
You know, but
the
decisions that I was making in my own personal movement is what affected that. And had I been in a better place, and I think really had we all been in a better place,
absolutely,
of communication. And
it's all it ever is.
It's all it ever is.
It's like a breakdown in communication.
There's a breakdown in communication.
It's all it ever is.
It's always that.
There were certain things that I wanted that the band didn't want. And had I been in a better place to, number one, receive that and accept that, not because I didn't want it to just be, my thing, because I was so happy to finally be in a band where I didn't have to be the anchor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't relied on.
Yeah.
To, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you got to do this. You got Nigel Hall band is, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do that. I enjoy being a side man.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy also driving too.
Yeah.
Right.
Every now and then, you know? Because that band was the perfect balance of all of that. I always said that when I joined that band, I finally found my return to forever, or I found the thing that I could be a part of. And, you know, I went on and I was mad about something, and I went on Twitter and I said, I'm out. And that was the wrong place to fucking do that.
Especially at that time.
It should have been a fucking phone call.
Right.
Like, it was the wrong thing to do.
Like, what?
It's the wrong thing to do. Now, look, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that happened for a reason. Because after that, some things happened in my life that caused me to look at myself and look at what it was that I was doing and how I was moving, and how there are some things that needs to be drastically changed. And I changed them. And I feel so much better that I've become the person that, maybe I lost. Yeah. Maybe I lost something that was really fucking special to me. And Nikki, I'm not even going to lie to you.
Yeah.
There are times where I sit and listen to that. It's hard for me to listen to that because I sit and I cry. Fortunately, I got a place in my backyard that I can shut the door and lock it and put the blinds up and cry about it. But I can cry and I can still connect to it. And it's hard for me to even when we play, the rare occurrences that I get to play with Nth again, it's hard for me to do it. It's hard because I miss y'all.
Yeah.
And but
it's a pain connected to it.
There is a pain connected to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am so happy and I'm so proud that that's something that you decided to continue, and the strides that you all are making as a band. Everyone in that band, including obviously you, but everyone, Nate, Nick, like y'all are still my family. Yeah. And I want to be clear that they made this whole fucking thing when Courtney joined the band, and old Nigel and Courtney beefed.
Yeah,
listen, let me tell y'all something.
So
y'all
funny.
Don't know shit.
Yeah, that was never a thing.
It was never a fucking thing. Courtney has been my homie. Yeah. You know? And what a lot of people got mixed up was the fact that when Courtney joined the band, I went to him, and somehow somebody found out what I said to him. But I'm glad people found out, because what else would you say? I went to him and I said, look, I went to him and I said, listen, man, don't fuck my parts up.
Right.
Because this is something that I put my heart and soul in. So just at the very least, play my parts right. That's all I said. I gave him a hug and I said, Godspeed.
What do you think? What do you think David Lee Roth said to Sammy Hagar? It's way worse than that.
Hey yo.
That's funny.
But
that's funny.
But I want to be clear on the fact that Nth Power even now is something that I'm still invested in, and I have nothing but unwavering support for anything that you do.
Yeah,
and
look, likewise.
It seems
you could
so
start a country band.
Yeah. No, I'll never do that.
It seems so.
But you live in Austin, isn't that the whole point?
Stop. It seems so petty now too, based on I'm seriously, based on all the people, close friends of ours that we lost over the last few years, and the don't everybody's going through, seriously. That type of stuff. And we all older now too, so things don't bother us as much as they used to, and people's egos have been checked and rechecked. At this point, you know what I'm saying?
You don't even hear half of the stuff. I'm in it. I'm like, what?
Right,
people are like, oh, this happened. I'm like, no, that did not happen.
Right, exactly.
But that's cool. Whatever. Mm-hmm. People like to make stuff up. It
happens. I've been on the balcony smoking with cats and be like, oh man, did y'all know y'all are suing me? They're like, what? Yeah, right. Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening.
You know what I'm saying?
It's happening.
Right, so it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The music business, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, I forever love y'all, and that the love that the music that we made together can only mean that you love somebody.
Yeah, it's true.
The way that we love each other,
Yep.
and for us to have traveled, you can hear it.
That's what I'm saying. You can feel it right now. Is what I'm saying.
The depths in which we have traveled to make this music and to create this music, and I'm brought back to a time when Nick and I were fighting about something, and we were really pissed, and we got on stage in Texas. That was when Nate lost his bass. You remember that?
Oh man,
yeah.
Do I remember that?
Oh yeah. And we got on stage and we started playing. I think we were playing Spirits.
Spirits. It had to be Spirits.
And those chords just started happening,
yep.
And we just looked at each other. We just started crying, and we just
washed away.
I'm sorry, and it was just washed away, man.
Yeah.
And
powerful, man.
And the sad thing is that dynamic is forever gone. But the love remains.
Yeah.
And I hate to use this as an example, but it's the only thing I can really. The aura will prevail. Yeah. Hey, look.
Yeah, exactly. All day.
You know, but I'm always brought back to the example of like, you know, it's like, you know, your ex-girlfriend who you loved, you know, and you can't. It's not that you can't be in the same room, but there's just certain things that you guys are going to do together. It's not going to be the same. And that's sad because when you could do that together, it was beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing in the world. And it's never going to happen again. But that's what music is. And
That
look,
is what music
let's think
is.
about this. If I was still in the band, the music we were making 12 years ago would not be the music we would make today.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally different.
But I know I've talked about it. I'm going to let you talk for a second because...
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna
pretty much
probably
said
get
everything.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty.
Let's take a break on that note.
Cohesive.
Actually, we're gonna come back.
Inclusive and
let's take,
We'll come back
take
with
a
that.
short pause.
I appreciate
for the
y'all.
calls.
That was actually for me. I was.
yeah,
But
we know.
But I'm glad. I'm glad
Like,
you're
we
here.
done, we done did this.
We've been through
All
this.
right,
shit.
yeah,
right.
exactly. So,
But
like, what year
before
is
we
it?
take a break, I just want to say that these feelings that I have about it is something that I'm constantly faced with as I grow every day and as I think about the things that I've done and how I've done them. I'm constantly faced with the fact
same here.
that
You
I
know
had
what
to
mean?
walk away from something that I really, really loved. But I had to do it for myself. And now I see it as something that helped. That was something that was good for me to do.
At the time, it was
and
like...
at the time, it was the dumbest thing I could have ever done. You know, because the whole while I was in that band, everybody was saying, "Oh, you're not going to be in that band for long, and you're not going to do this." And all the fucking haters.
Right.
We were fucking chopping them down left and right, showing them that we couldn't. And I fucked up, and I fucked up because of my own shit, and you know, it's something I deal with every day. I deal with it every day. And I want you to know it's not a day that goes by that I don't think about those days. The day,
I know.
You know, I was looking on
Some of
YouTube
the best
the other day.
days of our life.
Man, when we did What a Fool Believes in Brooklyn Bowl.
Yeah.
Boy, you remember when Craig came up and was like,
I might have had a
wanted
semi-illegal
to
recording
come
of
up
that.
and play What a Fool
Oh,
Believes
yeah.
with us in LA.
In LA.
And I was on one that day. And we were live too. He's like, "Oh, let me come." I said, "No, sir.
No, sir.
This is not a sit-in situation.
No,
this
this-
was on my. Why don't you have a seat?"
But what's funny is like that was our thing for a really long time. Like nobody sat in with the Nth Power.
How could you?
Yeah, like
was
how
like-
could you?
It was like-
But like there would be
It
people
wasn't really
that are
put-
like, "Yo," and I'm like, "Really? Like
No,
you
yeah.
just heard that?
Right, exactly.
And
Like,
you're
you
like,
thought you was exactly.
You want to jump in?
Right.
You want to jump in?
You want to jump
the
in
audacity,
with all
right,
that
you know?
going on?
Right, exactly.
It's like,
Like,
nah,
no, I'm good.
nah, bro.
Nope. I'm here to watch this. I
Yeah.
ain't no
Listen,
part of me ever thought I was like,
I
oh,
just
let me
want to
jump
put
up
out into the
and
universe.
fuck the song up. That'll be
Right.
great.
I just want to put out into the universe that one day we have an old school fucking Nth Power reunion.
Yes.
And I'll
Yeah,
bring
we're
out
gonna
the new
have
roads and
We're gonna have a 30-year stadium tour.
30-year stadium tour.
I love it.
reunion.
You heard it here first.
Yep.
Yep. And I'll
Like
have
you're gonna be on tour for 30 years, or like?
Yeah, it's like 30 years. That's good. I mean,
Hold up. For real,
no,
we need to take a
I'm
break.
like, we're halfway there. I mean,
We need to take a break. We're gonna come back and talk about some more things. We gotta. Danny's got some Jazz Fest gripes. We're gonna talk about that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about.
Uh-oh.
all
I know
the
Nikki
Jazz
has a few.
Fest.
I'm sure we'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
to that.
And I have many, as you know.
yeah,
So
right. Jazz Fest.
we'll be right
gripes.
back after these messages.
Wesley
with our
Grapes.
special
After
guest,
these
Nikki
messages,
Glaspie,
we'll be right
on
back.
the shadow.
We'll
We'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah.
That was long. Fuck it. I understand. That's
Yeah.
We're back on the Shadow People.
We're
if you
back.
hadn't noticed.
All right.
We're here with our esteemed guest Nikki Glaspie, of course.
Our family.
So
Nigel
happy
Hall.
to be here.
I'm Derrick Freeman, and
On the
who has joined us,
couch.
but the assistant
Yeah,
DA.
Over here in the dark
Assistant
corner.
lurking
Yeah, assistant
in
DA.
the darkness.
And then
The
he
assistant
is
DA.
he is in between gigs or something. Trust me.
Right.
Hey, here I am.
In between
So Danny, you know, I hate to have to bring this up again because we talked about this on the podcast before, but people, it's Jazz
But,
Fest. Like,
yeah,
we have
need
to get back into it.
reiterate
Like,
this.
look, okay, if we're at Jazz Fest and we're gigging that day,
Which is every day.
yeah.
every day.
But I'm saying if we're
Sometimes
actually
multiple
we gig every day,
times a day.
but
No,
what
if you see us, we're doing something.
doing something, and if we have nice clothes on, that means we're doing something extra special.
Yeah.
Please, look, it's hot. You're sweating. Maybe you didn't shower last night. You're partying. Nobody's against that.
You
Do
got
your
fucking
thing.
glitter all over
Do
your
not
face.
touch me.
You know
Please
who you
stop
are.
it. Stop it. We know who you are. We love you. Stop it.
Yeah.
There's enough photos. You got plenty of pictures of all of us. Trust me, we all seen them. They're all over the goddamn internet. We don't need no more photos of us.
They come up
Please
on
stop
memories
touching us.
every.
And we can just
Stop
stand next to each other and take a photo.
Just
We don't
stand
have
next
to
to
put
me.
our arms around each
Don't
other.
put your
Just
arms
be-
around
you know what I
me.
mean?
Your
know
arms
how to
stink.
do
You're
that.
sweating.
You ain't
You
taking
gotta
a
do
bath. You got glitter all over you and paint
yeah.
and shit. It's too much.
It is. It is.
I thought Jelly told y'all.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, we gotta
too
say.
much.
How many times we gotta say this?
But also, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see someone walking, and it's like obvious they're going in this
Do
direction,
not get in the way.
and they have to be where they're going. Do not stop them. Just don't. You know, we're here all week.
Plenty
You
of
know,
times
I'm
to
gonna
meet and
see you
greet.
like
Try
20
the veal.
times. You know, there's gonna be a time that you see me where I'm just standing outside drinking some water. That is a perfect time. Hey, you mind if we take a photo? Not when I'm trying to go to the
If
bathroom.
you see me
to start the
sweating
gig.
and power walking, don't get in
Don't
the
stop
way.
me.
Carrying a
It
road.
is hot. I have a Rhodes.
Exactly.
I got symbols on my back. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to stop and talk to you. I got stuff to do, man. Damn.
You
And
see,
it
I'm in
doesn't mean
pain
we don't
right
love
now.
you.
Right.
It doesn't mean we don't love you.
Yeah, it
Because
just
we
means
do.
that we have to go to work. If you had to go to work
Yeah.
and you were getting on the bus and you were late to go to work, and I saw you getting on the bus, and I stopped you
From getting on
from
the bus.
getting on the bus and possibly missing the bus
Yeah.
because I wanted to take a picture with you,
A photo.
a photo with you in your work outfit.
And I'm sweating.
And
you in
sweating.
work clothes.
I'm clearly not going to work.
Right.
I don't have anything to do.
Right.
But if I stop, how would you feel if I stopped you from going to work and then you show up to work and you find out that you're fired, that someone else is sitting in your seat because you had to take a picture?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Consequences.
Take a picture.
And look, that's not always the
Circumstances
case,
and
but
consequences.
I want people to think about that. Use that as the example. Before you act, think about you going to work and having to take care of your family and somebody stopping you from getting on the bus, and then you finally show up to work and you find out you're fired. Because you can get fired at Jazz Fest too.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it happen.
I've done
I've
it.
gotten fired and hired.
I have been.
I've gotten fired and hired. at Jazz.
fired.
I've been.
Wink,
Yeah.
wink. This nigga.
Yeah, it's,
And you know what? To be fired by someone you love means that there's real love
There's
there.
real love, exactly. I really love you.
I really love you.
That's
and
why
I
I'm
cannot
doing
allow
this.
you to. This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts
Yes, exactly.
you. You know? No.
well, I fired Danny 927 times from my back.
There's this thing that I call New Orleans fired, where it's like you're fired, but then actually I do need you again in like 2
Saturday,
years.
though. But Saturday though, yeah. But I mean, after that,
You're right.
I ain't fucking with you no more.
Yeah, right.
There's
Till
no one
next
else can make the
Saturday.
gig. Can you come back?
I'm just not gonna call you all
Right,
week.
right, exactly.
Oh, that's
But
so
you know
funny.
when the gig is,
Yeah.
and I expect
Yeah.
you to be there.
Oh,
That's
that is classic. It's also very real. That's why we're laughing.
It is real. But I think, but also, you know, I think that because we have crazy shit like this that goes on in our community, that's what makes our community really beautiful.
It is
and
true.
that's what makes, you know, doing this so awesome. You know, I know a lot of times we come on this podcast and we got frustrations and gripes because, you know, nothing as dope as this comes without a fight. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get up and you gotta fight every day. You gotta fight every day to prove my love. You know?
It's true.
And it's and that's definitely one thing that I've learned from you from all of these years playing together. I met you at the Big Easy. Check this out.
The Big Easy.
The Big Easy in Portland, Maine. There's a place called the Big Easy in Portland,
the food's
Maine.
incredible.
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
bro!
It's so funny,
bro.
There was no food there.
There was literally no food.
There was no food
Yeah,
there.
that's probably a good thing.
It was a bar.
Yeah.
It was a full bar.
It was a
But
bar.
it was dope, and it was, I don't know. At this point, it's 25 years ago. Wow. It had to be.
It wasn't 25 years,
23.
but it was. Yeah, like 20,
Rasul was probably 2 years old, so 20. Yeah,
23,
and he's 24. So
There you go.
so there you go.
yeah. So,
Yeah, so we've known each other for a very, very long time.
very long time.
And we
know
wrote the New Orleans Fire. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
There's so my default channel on my Samsung TV is like a arts video hit channel, and like at least 3 times a week I turn on the TV and there's Nikki in Beyonce's living room. So I'm like, Jenna, that's Nikki again. Look.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like I am in a couple.
I always forget that because I know you're in so many other contests. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot,
but it was a lifetime ago.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
This point.
True.
But it's
Yeah.
funny because I was watching this movie not that long ago. You know Bill Burr,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like one of the
Love Bill
greatest.
Burr. Yeah, we
He's
love
the
What's
Bill.
it? What's the last movie that he just put out? It was like Bad Dads. or
Old
something.
Dads.
Old Dads.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and in like the third scene, they like put a video of Beyonce up, and I'm in the background, and I was like, I was watching with Andre, and I was like, wait a second, I was like, that's me. She's like, no, it's not. I'm like, rewind.
No, it actually is.
I'm like, and it was one of our first gigs.
And I know you looked at her like
it
this.
was so random too.
Yeah.
Like the actual footage was like, why? How did y'all get?
That's just
that
the one they could afford.
footage?
That was just the one they.
It was like from Radio 1. It was like a
was-
live show.
right,
Like
yeah.
it was so random. But I was like, oh, there I am in a Bill Burr movie.
Ta-da.
That's crazy.
Not getting paid, isn't that?
Not getting paid.
Like so many movies I'm in.
Right.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
It's a great feeling, isn't it?
isn't it?
Hey, look, that's why we got this podcast.
Exactly.
Because we're going to get paid one way or the other. We're going to figure this shit out.
Man.
I have a question. Can we, is it safe now to talk about some of our most prized Nth Power moments?
Oh yeah.
I'm here for that.
It's always safe.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I'm here
It's
for
always safe.
All right, you go first, and then I'll go next. But you're probably going to say the same one I am. But there were so many. There were so
I
many.
don't know because like there were so many.
There were so many.
Okay, well,
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna talk about this one because I have to say something about Big Pat
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Pat was like
Big Pat helped us out.
I still like
Great
can't.
Everybody.
I still can't really.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
called me
Like-
on my birthday. The day he died on my birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, Anyway, so this is like our first tour. This is our first tour. And like we're in Colorado. There was like all this stuff that happened like all the way up to that. But we're just gonna
wait.
we're just-
wait.
No. In
Start-
Colorado
Okay,
is a good.
all
That's
right.
I know some.
Oh,
I already
all
know
right,
you're gonna
based
tell
on
that
that
one.
Based
but
on
there
in
was-
Colorado, I know
No,
some
the
shit was
thing
going
is
down.
there was a whole drive like out there
Oh
shit.
God.
that we're just not even gonna. It's fine.
Oh no, tell it because we
Yeah,
say
but
that.
I mean, whatever. Like Pat, he was one of the greatest, like, just drivers and just managers of
life.
of vibe and life, and
Yeah.
like you just felt safe.
Yeah.
Like we just felt safe, and I mean, he saved our lives like countless times.
Yeah.
But so
definitely did.
we had a gig. One morning we were like driving from Denver to Aspen, and
Nice drive.
nice drive, for whatever reason, We thought it was a great idea to eat mushrooms at 10 a.m.
Now this sounds like the first tour. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first tour.
Yeah, uh-huh.
You know? So it's just like, all of us, like everybody, we just like get in the van. We're like, yeah, Big Bad's driving that. All right, great.
Yeah.
Like we get to Loveland Pass, right? Everybody who tours, they know this pass. And like I hear boom 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 boom.
Oh,
And Pat goes,
man.
"Oh, like this is not good."
You got to go get it fixed in Idaho.
He's
You got
like-
to get the
he
brakes
was
fixed in
like-
Idaho Springs.
No, he was like, "Yo, the rotors are out. Like there is not there is nothing
And
happening,
we're driving
right?
in the fucking mountains.
And we're on Loveland Pass. So like we're coming down. And you know the next exit is was that Silver Lake,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So luckily just like pulled right off. And there was a mechanic
Always.
right there
That's how Colorado is. There's a
There's a mechanic right there.
Yeah.
behind the Tanger outlets.
Yep.
I know exactly where y'all was at.
Okay?
Precisely. Yeah.
You know precisely where we were at.
Yeah.
And thankfully, you know, we like get out of the van. I'm like,
That was
"Aw,
Ron
man."
Burgundy.
That was Ron Burgundy. But I was like, oh man, like I gotta make like financial decisions and I'm tripping right now.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, okay, well, I talked to the dude and he's like, you know, it's gonna be, you know, $700 for this, and you know, I can get the part. It's gonna be like 3 hours until it gets here, but we can get it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So we literally, Nate and I, we just went shopping. We went to the Guess was right there, and like the Nike outlet store,
Yeah.
and we just
motherfuckers
had
fresh.
a good old time. You know, like something that was like so tragic.
Right.
You
Oh,
know,
man,
like the
yeah.
van just like breaking down. But like that's where we were, like just vibe wise.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, oh, it doesn't matter. And guess what? Made the gig on time
And
Look at that.
crushed.
and
Shout out.
crushed.
Look
And
at that.
like we didn't even have to load in though,
Yeah.
because we were so late because we had to get rotors on the van
Yep.
that they actually had our backline though. They
yeah.
had a Yamaha kit, they had an organ,
Yeah.
they had roads, like they had everything there.
oh.
Is that the belly up?
The belly up,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
They
they
had-
had, okay.
Yeah, they
I was
had
like, wait,
everything.
there's only one place where that could have happened. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's one story of many where
Many.
Oh,
just
man, I
like
got some
Pat-
Aspen story. Jesus.
Pat
Oh,
saved our life.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see
You know,
Pat
because like
definitely
I don't know
saved
what I would have done had I been driving, because it was a van and a trailer, you know,
Yeah.
on Loveland Pass, which is like
That is
one
just
of the worst.
The dumbest
You know.
fucking shit in the world.
Mhm.
Anybody driving that.
The
in
one
a, in
and
a
the
Miata
that one and the one you
is
got to
an issue.
take to get the Telluride. Both of those are like,
Oh
we're
yeah,
like, what the fuck are we doing right
yeah.
now?
You go over the Continental
With a trailer on
Divide.
the van too. You're like, this is
No,
this
that's
is
why
this is
you
not
know.
a smart idea.
No, at this point, and I say this, like it's not actually worth it.
No.
Like the snow and stuff, like yes, we loved all the money that the ski season brings and whatever, but it is the Nth Power's policy now that we do not go out there
Yeah,
when
it's
there's
not-
snow on the ground. Like
I love
nah,
Colorado.
we're
in
good.
July. I play. You know when I play in Colorado, 4th of July.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly. It is incredible. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Or if I am going to Colorado in the winter, I'm playing in Denver.
Yep.
Flying in,
Flying
out.
Yep. Plows.
Okay. I'll come to Crested Butte, but I'm flying in.
And I'm flying.
You know
out.
what? This is important. I'm glad you got there because you know, like I remember I was in like some seminar. You know, we talking to like I'm thinking it was college musicians, and then like I kind of had to check myself because they were like, I saw it on their faces. They were like, you know, like we're in this band and blah blah blah. We started in college and we're going on our first tour, and, you know. And I was like, awesome. And they were like, yeah, we're going to Chicago and Denver and New Orleans and San Fran. And I was like, yeah. And where else y'all going? And they were like, well, we're going a lot of places. I was like, well, see, this is the thing. I was
You're
like,
right. This is the thing.
We going a
no,
lot
no,
of places.
no. Like Chicago's awesome, Denver's awesome, but there's about 8 tour stops in between those two places that are.
Not.
And I was like, does anybody in your band know how to fix cars? They're like, this guy was like, my dad's a mechanic. I'm like, you can never fire him
Yeah, exactly.
He can do whatever he wants. I'm
Yeah.
like, make sure you keep him in the. I was like, and I hope y'all love each other, because if you don't, you don't want to find out in February in Cleveland that you don't love these people, because that's when the fuck is gonna go down.
Yeah,
So, and that's what I'm saying is, I'm like, I see their faces and I'm like, I'm sorry.
right.
No, wait a minute. You guys can be very successful in the music business. Don't listen to anything I said. Like, you have fun. I was like, sorry guys.
But
like,
you gotta give it to them straight.
yeah, like, it's
And
like,
honestly,
you want to go on
like-
tour? You sure? Are you positive?
No,
Are you sure?
Kids nowadays, I'm like, yo, if you can do something else, do it. Like, you have to really love this.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't want to get into it and then find out, like, oh, no, this isn't, and I should have. Like, if you don't have a choice, I understand that.
Right.
Because we do not have a choice.
I didn't have a choice, yeah.
That's why
We
we're
don't have a
here.
choice. Yeah.
If, like, music is that important to you, that, like, you live it, breathe it, eat it, sleep it,
That's right.
that's what you need to be doing.
That's right.
But if it's not, and you're like, oh, I program,
Yeah.
you
Then
know,
you better get the
I
programming.
do this, and yeah, like, no, this is not
You
it.
better program.
This is not it.
Oh, I'm just I'm glad we talked about that, because I've been thinking about that a lot, like, just about, especially, I mean, you know, we've all, there's levels, we're all graduate, you know, it's more comfortable, and there's, you know, it's more lucrative, so you do what you got to do, but it takes a while to get to that point.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah,
takes
but
a while,
even,
just so you know,
still,
like,
when you get to
right.
that point,
it's still a lot of work.
you still got to deal with unforeseen circumstances every day.
Exactly.
Every day. Like, we had the flywheel, like, come through the hood of the van. Like, the most craziest situations, like, we've been in.
Yeah.
You know, and thankfully, thank God, you know, there's a mechanic right there. And they're like, oh, we don't have that part. That's a very rare part. But, you know, Jimmy is going to drive it over here. It'll take him 3.5 hours.
Jimmy runs on.
But, you know, we'll get...
Jimmy runs on.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, we'll get you out of here today
Yeah.
at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, but, yeah, in the middle of nowhere.
And it's just incredible when you have the right, whether you're in the right frame of mind or not, if you think positively how the universe and how God works for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that regardless of whatever we were doing, we were out there for a bigger reason than that. And, you know, however we got to where we got to do that, you know, it's only just a testament of how much we really loved each other, because if we didn't, we wouldn't have been able to have gotten as far as we got. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as you are still going, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's definitely a lot to be grateful for. And I always say, you know, you mentioned when you was talking to the kids, man, like I always say, I think that more people who want to get in the music business should watch this show, because we have been there and we love it. Like you said, we don't have a choice, but you know, but we also tell the truth on this show, and we're not going to sugarcoat anything, at least what we go through. Now look, what we go through may not be what you go through, but you're going to go through it at some point.
It's true.
At some point, you're going to go through it, maybe not the way that we went through it, but it's all the same shit. Nothing new is under the sun. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and when you have personnel issues, there is no HR. We're all HR.
Ain't no HR.
Right.
So like,
And this goes back.
how you gonna deal? No, I'm just saying, how you
This
gonna deal
goes
with it?
back to what I was
How
saying
you gonna deal
about
with it?
how about the communication level in a band. You know, and if you're not doing the right things to take care of yourself, you ain't gonna know how to communicate.
Message.
When there are things. Thank you.
Yes.
Then when things come up that need to be addressed, or there's something that's heavy on your heart, you don't just wake up and go to fuck on Twitter and say I'm out, and then have everybody from goddamn Relics and Live for Live Music calling you and what the fuck is this and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? It's some crazy shit. But I have a story. I actually have two that I could choose from.
All right.
But I think that this one will probably be the safest one. But there you go.
Sponsored by Crescent 9.
Sponsored by.
Buckle up. Sponsored by
Sorry.
Crescent Canna.
No, I'm enjoying the stories, and I just had to
The sexy.
relax myself. It's the Monday between Jazz Fest. I'm a little tired today.
It's
the Zexy.
Tell them what it is.
This is the Zexy. is a flavored THC water.
Peach. And it's delicious.
It's delicious.
Peach.
It's delicious.
Made by Crescent Canna, who probably provides beverages for the podcast. And so I'm having
shout to Crescent Canna.
I'm having the water today, 5 milligrams of THC. But I'm off tonight, so
good.
My man,
what I'm doing.
We chilling.
Love you guys.
All right, so we
Sorry,
were
sir.
Anyway.
Exactly.
No, we were in Burlington, Vermont. And this was before Ron Burgundy. And we had the green.
Oh, the green monster.
Green Monster.
That's the name place?
No, we weren't. No. Well, we did play at Nectar's.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it was.
something
That is in
we
Burlington,
would've
right?
played.
That was-
I mean, that's the only place we
Yeah.
would have played.
Yeah.
But I feel like we were out in
Was
the
it
middle of
upset?
nowhere somewhere.
Well, we
Because
stayed out in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, we stayed out in the middle of nowhere,
That's what we
and
do.
we got the. I think we were on mushrooms again,
Vermont. I mean,
You
yeah,
don't
on
say.
a multitude of things.
probably.
But but we decided that it would be a good idea. It was probably like 2 or 3 in the morning, and we decided that it'd be a good idea to drive to the Cabot Cheese Factory.
Oh wait, okay.
You-
Okay, I know, I can fill in the details here.
Okay, help her. Yeah, help.
All right, so we had a gig. Check it out. We had a gig on Pransky's farm.
Pransky's farm. See,
Shout out
that's
to
where it
Dave
was,
Pransky.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we were down the street from Cabot, and we had mushrooms before the gig. Before the gig. Because that's just what one does. You know what I mean? It's
We're in
just
Vermont. I mean,
Man,
They
I'm
were
telling you,
like-
y'all, listen, we had a
a
fucking
band-
really good time.
that eats mushrooms together.
Yep.
Eats mushrooms together. That's it.
breaks up.
Breaks up.
No, but I remember like it got weird because like we were playing, and then Pransky brought this fire. Remember the there was a chick that was like
Oh, there's always one of
juggling
those.
fire
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's right.
and like
Yeah.
brought on stage, and we all kind of were like,
Whoa.
like what's happening right
Right.
now? Like we can't deal with this. Like you gotta.
It's too
Was
much.
I freaking? I
It's
think I
too
was
much.
freaking.
No, yeah, we were all
Too much
like,
stimulation. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
like this is too much.
right.
Like you gotta, the fire needs to go that way.
Right.
That was
you know.
right after we got the Blue B3 too. I was like, you better get the hell away from this
Oh
organ.
yeah. but it was actually like it was probably like 6:30. By the
In the
time,
morning?
yeah, by the time we left, because I remember it was daylight. Because we were like, "Yo, let's stop." We had just had a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Go
We
to
were
the cheese
passing
factory.
by the cheese factory. Let's stop. It's
Yeah.
Cabot.
Uh-huh.
But do you remember the guy? This dude
He was
came
the
out.
coolest ever.
This dude came out. He was like, "Can I help you?" And we were like, "Yeah, man. We just like we love your cheese." And we just like stood there. And
He's like,
talked
well,
to
come
him
on
about
in.
the
Let me
cheese.
show you how it's made.
It's like,
But
And we're tripping on much. Well,
But-
a lot of things.
no, the best part about it was that he like an alarm went off. He like had his watch and he was like, "Oh, gotta go," and he like disappeared because he had to.
it was time to turn
It
the
was
cheese.
time to
Turn the
turn.
cheese.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
And we left with some cheese.
We left
He
with some
gave us
cheese. We had
It
some
was-
cheese.
It was.
We had some
hilarious.
in the van though.
We had some
Already,
in the van.
we got
and
out of the
yeah.
van with the Cabot. Like, hey
Like,
man,
yo, I'm a fan. Just
Yeah.
so you know.
Yeah, we trying to get that re-up right quick.
yeah. I know, but if you haven't had the 5-year reserve, you should definitely get that.
Yeah.
The 10-year reserve is also killing.
Yeah.
I mean, we know about cheese.
We're well
Shout
versed
out to
in
Cabot.
cheese.
Cabot,
Shout
y'all,
out to
we'll take
Cabot.
some free cheese.
Yeah,
if that,
we will
if you're
take
so
some of that
inclined.
cheese.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Musicians love cheese.
That aged cheddar. I'm telling you.
Vermont cheddar, that's a real thing.
It's
I had some. Those are some really great times.
Yeah.
They really were. And
Cheese
you
and
know, I
maple
have
syrup.
a cheese. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I have a hard drive that if you have time, I'll give to you before you leave. But it has a lot of footage from us in there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Need
it
that.
has footage of us in that place in Brooklyn when we were rehearsing. Where they had the CP80
yeah,
there,
Yeah.
and man, it's some of it's so hilarious. It's just man, it's great stuff. So
We're all
I mean,
young.
yeah, young
Bright-eyed,
and
bushy
bright-eyed, bushy tail.
Unjaded.
Emphasis on bright-eyed.
Right.
Yeah, emphasis on bright.
I love the unjaded.
You
That,
remember,
you know,
you remember the time that you drove from Chicago to
Oh,
to
yeah, of
Maryland
course.
and talked to Ndugu?
Of course,
and
in
we got
20 minutes.
And we got there in 20 minutes.
I drove from Chicago to Vienna
Yep. And
Virginia.
For the Wolf Trap. Or wherever.
And we talked.
We played at whatever the Vienna.
But the Wolf Trap is in Vienna, right? I'm sure.
I don't know.
Or maybe it doesn't matter.
No, Wolf Trap isn't in Vienna, but I know that we weren't playing at Wolf Trap.
Yeah, probably not
been
the
nice.
first tour. Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I mean, shit, but it wasn't long before we was
exactly.
on VH1 and in Australia.
Oh yeah,
we had a whole world tour. Our second tour was a world tour.
No, with 98 Degrees. I forgot y'all was on that.
Nick Lachey.
Nick Lachey.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Big Morning Buzz.
Yeah.
Anyway. That was your last gig.
That was my last gig.
Ouch.
That was my last gig.
Went out with a bang.
And you know what?
On TV.
Yeah, that was my last gig. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, so
no, it ain't nothing. And look, that's not. Look, this is me coming from a reflective standpoint.
Yeah,
now,
obviously. Yeah.
You know, and like I said, listen, things happen for a reason, and
we're all here now, bro.
And
you know
and we are all here right now.
Yeah.
And,
we're all here.
And I love you more than I ever have.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
After all of that. You
Absolutely.
know, you will never not be my sister. We will be out in that gravel fighting and beating each other the fuck up.
Please don't.
And then pull each other up and dust each other off and go on about our fucking day, because that's what real love is.
And if you want to see us fight, it's gonna happen May 4th.
Yeah.
At the Maple Leaf.
Oh, cool.
It's probably gonna happen on the 3rd at rehearsal. If we're being completely honest.
If we have rehearsal. We need to have rehearsal.
Yeah, we need to have rehearsal. I have blocked that day out for rehearsal.
Yeah.
So
I'm about to go have a solo rehearsal at my house for that gig after this.
Solo rehearsal. Solo man.
I saw somebody at the gig at DBA who was going to be on that gig, who I'm not gonna say names. I'm gonna keep it together. But I was like, oh, so we on the gig. She's like, what gig? And okay,
Yeah.
okay, hold on.
I know you know
I already know who you're talking about.
But look, let me tell you what she said. I was like, yeah. I was like, you ready? And she's like,
yeah.
And I'm like, I said, look, and then she's like, I said, you better get ready, because I've been shedding the look. I'm bringing extra keyboards that don't ever leave the studio just to make sure that
you and Amy.
because you already know how that's gonna be.
Yep.
But she was like, yeah, I gotta learn these parts because Nikki is relentless. I was like, you think she cracking the whip last time?
Oh yeah.
And that's what I always say. I was talking to somebody about. I think we were having Wasili was here last week.
Oh, nice.
And we were talking about how important it is to learn the parts. And rehearsal, what did he say? Practicing is learning your parts. Rehearsal is learning everyone else's parts.
Exactly. Yep.
And how important that is.
It's really
and how
important.
important it is to show up prepared.
Yeah, to know
And
what's happening.
part of how I live now, I've always enjoyed being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm not, it's telling. And
It's a horrible feeling.
It's a horrible feeling. And you sure know how to make somebody feel horrible.
To be on that island, I'm saying, but if you're on that island, that's bad. But
that's also the precedent that you set when you call people to do a gig.
It's about excellence.
Listen,
it's about excellence.
Don't come in here bullshitting. You got called because you're the best person to do this.
Yes.
Now, if you can't think, then you should tell me that when I ask you to do the gig.
Do the gig. Because
You know what I'm
I
saying?
I'm not like.
Now, granted, look, when we get to rehearsal, we're not going to know everything, but that's what rehearsal is for. So come to rehearsal somewhat as prepared as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I always say that you don't know your part unless you know everybody else's part, because it all works together.
It all works together.
And the thing is, like, especially for you guys, I guess for me somewhat too, like certain people you hire set a precedent too. Like, so I'm blessed because I have Danny, but like, and fortunately for me, all the guitar players that play with me are like incredible.
Yeah, Sasha was killing.
Yeah, but like on some, Sasha's crazy. But like on some other instruments, I ain't gonna say nothing. But like I got certain people that's my A people, and certain other people come in, and I'm like expecting that thing that I hear, and it's not happening, and that's how I know. I'm like, well, wait a second, I'm not hearing this shit.
Yeah.
That's not what I called for.
I'm like, Danny does this. I'm like,
advertisement.
Danny does that, and they're like, what is that? I'm like, I mean, you're the one who's playing guitar. Like, Danny's on the record. Like, you should have went and Like learn the shit that was actually happening. Because right now it's not happening, and I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like what I'm gonna do is the middle of the gig. I'm like, whatever, but I'm like the whole time I'm like, damn. Like,
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You don't want to be in a not Danny situation. That's a last
right,
on a gig. You want to be like
situation.
this ain't Danny. I'm not really. I don't know what's happening right now. You know what I mean? So you gotta think about that too. Especially like if you're in a band, you subbing, and like it's you know what I'm saying. If you know like okay, I play saxophone and James Casey was in this band, like you might want to.
Yeah.
Share your James Casey. Like, that's just me. I don't know. Like, exactly. You might want to know what the fuck was happening. Because, like, the cast up there is going to be expecting you them parts, and you ain't.
And look, this gig that we're doing is Nikki and the Homies.
Yeah.
And, by the way, I love all of the flyers, all of the pictures you unearthed.
Yeah.
For this thing. The last one, whatever one it was, and it's you like this, and everybody just around that. There's the perfect depiction of what it's going to be as adults.
Exactly.
Just wandering around the Maple-Leaf at 3:30 in the morning.
That's why I thought that picture was actually
that was
genius. Because there's like all this stuff going on around, and I'm like,
Next song.
Yep. Next song.
Next song.
Next song.
Yep.
But yeah, like that's one of the things that's one of the things I appreciate about that is because again, like the Earth, Wind, and Fire, like the Nirvana, like but more so like the Nth Power and like what you do originally, you are able to bring together the right cast of characters and they are all fucking characters.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too is that we all have a producer brain.
Yeah.
We all
we
know
have that in common for
who
sure.
to call
Yeah.
for what.
Exactly.
And part of that,
and that's a true gift, man. Like we're talking about Wasili. Everybody don't have that ability to.
Everybody don't have the ability to do that. Just like with Wasili when he does the very good Mondays, and he puts together the people. He puts together the right people, even if they don't know each other.
Tonight though.
Tonight is going down. We'll be there.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pull up after my since
me
I don't
too.
have anything to do.
After my session,
because I can skate when it's time to go.
Because when it's funny because I actually realized who was on it like this morning. I was looking at the days between. I was like, I don't have anything tonight. Like, what's happening? And I saw it. I was like, oh, that's
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so if y'all pulling up,
I'm pulling up.
I gotta
go help Miles DJ a little bit,
Yeah.
So
we'll shout to Miles. Well, we want to thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
you for coming
love you
on
so
our
much.
show. And
yeah.
I love you so much. I'm glad that this is the first time I got to see you and that we actually got to hang out and have a conversation.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
Just spend some time together.
I want to come back.
Oh yeah, you were definitely coming back whenever.
And we can talk about basketball,
all that,
like
anything.
football.
We can talk about all.
Shout out to the Celtics.
Shout out to the Celtics. I'm wearing the hats. Playoffs.
And she looked right in the camera for that shit too.
I'm saying, it's a playoffs. We take that seriously.
We want everybody to check out our YouTube channel. It's at Shadow People Podcast. The email we're gonna put right under here: shadowpeoplepodcast@gmail.com. We want to shout out Crescent Cannon one more time. Thank you so much for helping us out and providing us with an array of different flavors and feelings also as well. And like and subscribe, share with your friends. We're fucking crazy. I
know. Look, if any of my neighbors watch the podcast, I swear there's no shenanigans because it's like just cases of Crescent Nine just be showing to my house. And my neighbors are like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Right? It's like it's all right here.
Right.
It's all right here.
I'm like, I bring them to the studio, man. Most of them.
And we want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Nigel Hall.
Derrick Freeman.
Nikki Glaspie.
Danny Abel.
And shout out to Brown Hound
Sounds Pound Town.
All right.
The guests, everybody loves
I love when guests hear us say
everybody
that
loves
shit.
that.
Like, what am I getting myself into?
But we want to thank y'all for tuning in, and we love y'all, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Happy Jazz Fest.
Great
Beep, beep.
episode.
Happy Jazz
that was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Love y'all. Cool.